What was your wittiest comeback that you're still proud of? My mom was asking about my daughter and her boyfriend. Are they going to get married? I'm just not ready to be a great-grandmother. Well, you could try being a good one first. This wasn't a comeback, but a witty burn for sure. On the bus in high school, a girl, who frequently annoyed me with her loud storytelling, was telling everyone about how she was getting hit on by one of the trash collectors while waiting for the bus. Typically I was the quiet kid who kept to myself, but this time I chimed in with I think he was just trying to do his job. My first gold and silver. Thank you, strangers. Working at a pizza shop, troublesome customer tries to stack coupons that clearly state 1 coupon per purchase. After being refused by everyone in the restaurant including the owner, he goes on a tirade saying that the district attorney is his cousin, and was threatening a lawsuit. Lol. As he was heading for the door, he said, "You can't afford to mess with me." I shouted after him, "You can't afford a large pizza." Getting my license to sell alcohol in a new area. Magistrate had been refusing people all morning and the police officer supporting my application knew this guy refused everybody, so we'd apply another day, but I still had to go up and be questioned. Part of getting a license is that there are people you are not allowed to serve. One of these is known prostitutes. He asks me to list all the people to not serve. Me concluding my list, and, ahem, known ladies of the evening. Judge, you mean ladies of the night? Me, I obviously go out a lot earlier than you, Your Honor. My then girlfriend and I were arguing over something petty. You're heartless. Only because you stole it. She OD and then went back into argue mode. My husband, he's a big fella, said don't touch what you can't afford to me. Once when I slapped his butt I instantly replied, not if I'm paying by the pound. I didn't mean to be nasty, it just plopped out before I could stop it. Late to the game, but at Thanksgiving one year, my whole family was sitting around talking, and winning contests came up. One of my brothers looked at me and snarked, "Oh yeah, Madui Threll Gingers, what was the last thing you ever won?" I looked around the room at all my blood relatives and answered by the looks of it, the genetic lottery. At a party, my cousin was once boasting how much his new girlfriend changed him. She is so great. Because of her I learned so many new words. Me, like water and soap? I had just turned 7, the day before, and I was in the car with my mom and brother after school. My brother and mom were arguing over something and my mom said, "I wasn't born yesterday." To my brother, I replied saying, "I was." It was a good day. I, male, was about to cross a road with a few friends, all female. A car passed by with a bunch of dudes, windows down. They were catcalling my friends, whistling and shouting "Hey sexy," and such. I was shouting back, "Aw, thank you." The girls burst in laughter and the guys looked confused, didn't have a comeback themselves and just drove off. Not extremely witty, but I love that moment. Random teacher, what would you do if you were as pretty as me? Me, get plastic surgery. I was arguing with an Air Force colonel who thought I answered to him. I told him legally he had no authority over me. He said I was being insubordinate. I replied, "I can't be insubordinate if I'm not your subordinate." I used to work as a carpenter's assistant. For some reason, I bought myself a 22-ounce framing hammer, which is, to be honest, more hammer than you'll ever need. One guy I worked with was teasing me about it. A real carpenter doesn't need more than a 16-ouncer. I replied, "You've been listening to your wife too much." Huh? She's been telling you size doesn't matter, right? Back in the day I had to deal with one of those ridiculous douchebags that thought it was a hilarious burn to call somebody gay. He found out that I did quite well academically at school and said that makes sense, most gay guys are smart. To which I responded, "If that's the case, you must be the straightest guy I've ever met." I'm an engineering freshman this year. My brother, who's a sophomore, changed majors from engineering to flight this semester after failing a course or two. When we were home for spring break we were casually teasing each other and he just says, "You're dumb." Lol, got him. I put on a fake pout and said, "Dang, you're right, guess I'm gonna have to be a pilot now." I was the dealer on a roulette table. Customer, what do I get if the ball lands in a number besides the one I bet on? Me, my condolences. Happened when I was 11/12 and used to swim a lot. Mom, you know, we'd save so much money if you guys stopped drinking so much milk. Me, we'd save more if you stopped smoking. Not the greatest, but I was proud of myself for how quick I was. My sister was cleaning out her room the other week and basically left bags of old clothes and garbage in the living room in the process. So of course her room was now spotless, but the rest of the house was a disaster. When I told her she was messy as all hell, she argued, "Messy? Have you seen my room?" I answered, "How couldn't I? It's all over the house." I was walking down the street one evening and passed by a restaurant and noticed two policemen were removing paintings from inside the restaurant and loading them into the back of a paddy wagon. I have no idea why. I went up to one of the policemen and said, "Officer, you shouldn't arrest that painting. It was framed." The cop chuckled. One that I actually said out loud, or just something I thought of a year later in the shower?